Thank you. We are back from executive session. This is the Monday, June 16th, meeting of the North Andover Select Board. If everyone could please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. All right, first item is public comment per Select Board policy. Public comment is not a discussion, debate, or dialogue between citizens and the Select Board. It is a citizen's opportunity to express his or her opinion on issues of town business. The board may respond to public comment by taking under consideration when deliberating on an agenda item or referring the item to the administration for appropriate action or response. Public comment shall be for a period of up to 15 minutes, with speakers being allowed 3 minutes to present their material. Is anyone here for public comment this evening? Okay, seeing none. We'll move to our first item on our agenda, which is a public hearing. I will take a motion to open the public hearing, please.
I'll move that we go into public hearing.
Second.
Motion is second. All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, we are in public hearing now. This was a continuance of a public hearing from last meeting for National Grid and Verizon to move some poles with regards to a project. Is anyone here for any kind of public comment on this public hearing? Okay, great. Seeing none. The applicant has asked to continue this because they were unable to get all the information we required at our last meeting. And I'll kind of put other to the board as part of our overall discussion. I'd like to make sure that we suggest back to the applicant that they have the appropriate property agreements in place before they come back to us further, to make sure that anything they're doing is going to be within the right-of-way or property that they control. Any objections to that?
No, I also asked for some clarification on the Highland, Hillview?
Hillside?
Hillside, that one. So the pole numbers are incorrect.
Okay.
So
On the plans?
On the plans, yeah.
Okay.
And I think when you measure them out, it looks like it's gonna land in a building, so we just need some clarification about where those poles are actually gonna land.
Okay.
And the one at Burger King's parking lot also is like gonna be in the middle of nowhere,
Okay.
so.
So we really need to see where they're
Actually gonna
include
land.
the buildings on
Yeah.
the lot. And
Yeah.
Yeah, I think a lot of times these kind of coming through and they're very matter-of-fact. This
Yeah.
one seems to be a lot different than that, especially that the roadway's going to change so much.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah. Most of them were like a few feet here and
Yeah,
there,
and you
but
don't
there were a
want
few
those.
outliers.
Right. Okay, Melissa, we're okay with just kind of communicating that back to them in writing?
Yes,
Yeah?
absolutely.
All right. If everyone else is good, I'll take a motion to continue.
I'll make a motion to continue the public hearing.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Hi.
Aye.
Okay. All right, next item up would be licensing. I'll take a motion.
I'll move that we go into licensing.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Hi.
All good.
So we only have one application, and it's for Sammy's Wings for a common vic license at 1814 Turnpike Street. Is anyone here from Sammy's? Do you guys want to come up?
With a big smile.
You guys just want to tell us a little bit about the restaurant and
We opening chicken wings.
all chicken wings?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're gonna be all family.
Oh, okay. Excellent. Is this your first restaurant, or do you have other
That's
ones?
the first restaurant.
First
but
one.
my husband, he been a chef like more than 30 years.
Oh, wow. Okay.
That's
And this is right in front of Berry Farm, right?
yes.
Okay. Just so everybody knows where you are. What are your hours?
We're gonna be from 9 o'clock in the morning till from 11
Yeah.
to 9 p.m.
Okay.
Yeah.
Every day?
Yeah.
Now the big question, do you deliver?
Hopefully.
Okay.
Actually, what's your specialty? Which wings are your specialty?
Chicken. Yeah.
All of them. Okay.
Sorry, just helping you out.
I recommend mango habanero.
Okay.
And the coconuts.
Yeah. Excellent. Excellent. All right. Your application's in order, so I will take a motion.
I would move approval.
And I'll second it.
All right. I have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you so much. Welcome
Thank
to
you so
North
much.
Andover.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Oh, there it is, Sammy's Wings, right on your back.
All right. I'll take a motion to cose licensing.
I'll move that we exit licensing.
Second.
A motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Back to you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you very much. All right, next item up on new business, item A, we have a vote to accept donation from Merrimack College in the amount of $225,000. I'll turn it over to the town manager to introduce us.
Sure, thank you, Mr. Chair. We are joined tonight by Associate Vice President Anthony Preston, who is from Merrimack College, and the college has agreed to give the town $225,000. $100,000 of that will be for the North Andover Fire Department for building capital projects and repairs, and $125,000 is for departmental equipment for the North Andover Police Department. And I've asked both chiefs to come tonight as well to accept the donation and hope that we could take a picture of everybody.
See no reason why not. I don't know, Mr. President, if you have anything that you wanted to add, or?
I'll be very brief. It's just, this is a way of us kind of collectively at the college, and I'm here on behalf of the president and the college as an entity, to say thank you to both the chief of the fire department and both the chief of the police department for just our really close-knit and great relationship over the many, many years that we have been here. So this is just a way for us to say thank you, and hopefully it supports equipment and capital upgrades to both of the departments. So, yeah, this is our way of saying thank you, and we look forward to continuing our partnership in the future.
Well, thank you too as well. I mean, you know, you're saying thank you, but we're saying thank you right back. But I think your donations are rightly placed with police and fire. They're up there helping out a lot.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
and without complaint, they go. And,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
they take care of the kids and the staff and the buildings and so forth and so
Yeah.
on. And any other things that might arise. But I think they're very rightly placed. So I'm
We
saying
agree.
thank you back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would just reiterate that, it's great. You are a part of our community, a very large part of our community, and we're grateful that you guys are able to recognize it. We've had a tough budget year right now, and every bit helps, and we
Yeah.
really do appreciate this, and hopefully it's a first step in, kind of expanding the partnership between the town and the college, so we're very grateful you're here.
Yeah, of course.
I think it's sort of indicative of the Pope bringing blessings, because he had attended there as an Augustinian.
Yeah.
And he
We have a
also,
pope now.
yeah,
It's kind of cool.
and then, and he also attended Villanova, my father's alma mater, so it was
Yeah.
like, this is a good one.
Yeah. Some of the Augustinians on our campus know him as Bob. And
Yeah.
they're walking around the day that he was voted in, like in disarray. They didn't really understand what to do because they lived with the Pope, Bob.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was a
He wore
really
a
exciting day
baseball
for
cap.
us.
He was on TV with a baseball cap.
Yeah.
It was funny.
Yeah.
From his hometown.
Yeah.
It was
yeah.
great.
So it's definitely an exciting time at the college. So as anybody who drives up and down 114 can see it, and we can feel it on campus. We actually have students on campus today, incoming freshmen for orientation. So we're back and buzzing. It feels crazy that it's already summer, but with the students already back and ready to go, it's a really exciting time for us.
That's great.
Well, we appreciate it. I've been, beating this drum since 2021, so really excited that we've gotten to this point and appreciate your partnership.
Yeah. Yeah. Awesome. All right.
There's no other comments? Well,
Yeah.
we should probably vote it
Let's
first.
accept it.
Let's-
Don't rush things.
I would take a motion. Who wants to turn down $225,000?
I'll move that the board accept the donation from Merrimack College in the amount of $225,000.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank
Awesome.
you very much.
Of course. I brought the check with me today.
Oh, you went,
Yep.
even better, he has the
Efficient.
check.
Not a big.
Efficient. Yeah, no.
We don't have one for show.
Our finance office couldn't turn that around quick enough.
I would have not worn my Michael Jackson outfit.
No, you need to.
No.
This is Michael Jackson. It's fantastic.
No, I'm just teasing you. But I'm like, I don't feel like it.
You want to hold these in and out now? Are you doing these? So.
I don't know.
Just stand in the middle.
Oh, okay.
You get money like that, you guess
Karen all day.
Okay. Here we go, and we will take multiple. Thank you. All right.
Thank you, John.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Good to see you.
And she can take the check.
All right, thank you all.
Thank you very much.
I know. Can you just
Mr. Green
put
of
it in?
North Andover, the elder, he's in heaven now. He was the first one to sign up because it was still, this is school for after the war.
Oh,
First
interesting.
one to sign up.
Interesting.
Yeah. So Peter Breen,
All right.
all 10 of them.
Well, all right, that's a good way to start the meeting. So
Any chance we could take the lieutenant's items so he could get moving too?
I would be
I
happy
bet he
to.
wants to see the DPW update, but,
I would be happy to go out of order. That's fine.
okay.
I believe
I
that's
think it's
gonna-
item G.
Item G, yes.
Mr. Club?
Out of order. By all means, please.
So this is, we're looking for the permit for the July 4th road race, which we've done in the past 7 years now, on behalf of the North Andover Booster Club.
Okay. I presume same route?
Everything's the same, there's no changes to it.
Oh,
Yeah.
that, we like it.
Pretty
simple
simple,
like that,
yeah.
All right.
Thank
In
you
and
for-
out.
Yeah, thank you for your letter. It's very, got very detailed.
I'm guessing we don't need much discussion here, but.
I'll move approval. Then we can.
Second? All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Perfect, thank you very much, we
Thank you.
appreciate it.
Thank you for coming.
All right.
And then there were two.
So I
The
tried
best
to
for
give you an
last,
audience.
the
I
best for
really did.
last.
I tried to give you guys an audience. Come on up. Item B, we are here to get an update from our
Oh, do you need the
esteemed
screen?
Department of Public Works.
I was like, I took it away, sorry.
So Jim and John are here to kind of.
You'll get this one. That's fine. See what you wanted. That's fine.
As we are heading into paving season, figured it'd be the appropriate time to check in with you guys, and I'm sure we all have our own pet projects, so we'd love to hear what's going on. So,
Great, thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. Jim Stanford, Public Works Director, John Bergese, Assistant Director. As mentioned, it's not just roads, I mean, it's a number of infrastructure projects. Like the last few years, I mean, we're struggling because of the cost of everything, both in labor and materials, but really the biggest challenge I think we have as of late is the time it takes, the backlog to get materials. There's just such a lead time where, you know, contractors are ready to go, but, you know, the backlog, and we're seeing that in not just construction equipment, a lot of it's specialized, especially when we get into the water treatment plant, but our regular equipment, trucks that we financed or ordered 2 years ago, we're still waiting for them to come in. And that's just the nature of things. With equipment, you know, prior to COVID, really manufacturers would have a lot more stock. Now, essentially, nobody is building anything until there's an actual order in. So, but again, I think we're very fortunate. We have a number of diligent employees who work for John, who, you know, everybody in Public Works has some part in it. But we're very fortunate to have a lot of good oversight of these projects. And we've been very fortunate with our contractors, too. So with that said, I'll let John just get right into the list of road and sidewalk projects, and then I'll give you just a brief update on water and sewer projects. For fiscal, and this is primarily fiscal year 25. You know, some of it's going to be the same for the process. And a lot of these are multi-year projects as it is. So a lot of them, we start the engineering in 1 year, the construction in the next, and it extends into the third year. So we can certainly give you more of an update on the time it takes, and I did have a memo a little late on it, but so you can follow along if you'd like. If you have any questions, let us know. Turn it over
Great.
to John.
Thanks, Jim. So we'll start off with the Columbia Gas Road restoration. We are finally in the home stretch here. The last 3 or 4 roads left to restore. Primarily, it's Main Street from Sutton Street to Route 125. The entire length, along with Merrimack Street, School Street, and Garden Street. These are, our contractor, PJ Albert, should be returning, it was supposed to be this week. I think it may be Wednesday of this week, possibly next week, starting with some drainage. We did TV investigate the drainage all along Main Street, make sure if there are any repairs to do, we do it before we pave the road. So we did find some sections where it makes sense for us to have those repairs done. So we're going to have PJ Albert go ahead and do those repairs first, starting with the drainage upgrades / repairs, and then move into either resetting curbing along the way where some of it may have become more tilted over, and then of course the final paving, and that will complete all of the restoration work from the gas impacted area. So we're looking forward to have that done and behind us.
How many
So,
years now?
yeah.
Not to put a frame around it,
It's
but
been what, six. Yeah,
not,
yeah.
not just us, it was the other communities. too.
Yeah.
I mean, the best part, it's unfortunate it happened. We were able to get almost, when all is said and done, 11 and a half miles of roadway that we probably wouldn't have been able to afford to do. So a lot of roads we were able to improve. As John mentioned, Main Street, we're excited because we're actually able to solve some of the drainage, long-standing drainage. The condition of the drainage is pretty bad. So funding of it, we're going to use every dollar in that area.
Yep. So, yeah, it'll be exciting to have that done. Next is, of course, our annual roads program. So we have a list of roadways that are they were left over from the last construction season that our contractor just didn't get to because of the end of the season. I was hopeful we were going to be able to extend their contract. Unfortunately, we couldn't, so I had to go back out to bid for a new paving contractor. We're currently out to bid. Hopefully, I think bids are due back within the next week or so. Once the bids are in, I can select a new contractor, and then from there, we can discuss schedule. My guess is they're likely, because we're so close to 4th of July, won't start till after the 4th of July. But we do have a list of roads here that, primarily, the big one is Gray Pond Road. Obviously, there's a section, I probably get a call every other day. That last section by Fox Hill to Marble Ridge, which I pushed out for the gas company for the last 2 years. They were going to do an upgrade project. They finally, this spring, they said, yeah, they're not going to let us move forward. You go ahead and pave it, and we'll just wait till the moratorium's done. So that's one of the primary ones, along with Gray Pond Road itself, from 125 to Bradford Street. The section down by the lake, it's pretty bad. So we're going to have the contractor jump on those two right away. And then I do have the list here to other streets we'll do till the funding for FY '26, and then we apply to Chapter 90. We get those funds in, and then those streets will get added to the list. I did, when we went out to procure this contractor, I did have in the additional two 1-year extensions, yes. So hopefully next year I won't have to go back out to bid, and we can essentially start right away with the contractor just by extending their contract. So recognizing the status of the roads and how bad after this winter, the whole potholes, they seem to, it was just unbelievable the amount of potholes that ended up coming up. So Jim and I talked with our operations superintendent to see if there was something else we could do, because the continual filling of these potholes, especially when you get multiple ones right next to each other, they come right out almost right away. We've actually just started on Dale Street today, actually. So we rented a milling machine and to use in-house, along with a paver that'll do up to about a 7-foot width is the max you can do. But this will allow us to do longer, wider sections all at once. So instead of just putting, tapping asphalt in a pothole, we're going to mill it all out, so there'll be a longer section. Then we roll that in, which is going to help it'll help us till I can get these roads into the program. And they're gonna hold up better long-term with the traffic. So this is kind of our kind of go-between, to get me a little further, hopefully. I drove Dale Street, the couple sections the guys had just started with, and they looked really good, so I'm hopeful that this will work more long-term.
Are you
Gonna be all
taking
set for Apple?
suggestions for places?
Absolutely. I have had residents who have called. Yes, I know about Andover Street. I know how bad it is. Yes, don't worry, I know Andover Street, and that is in the program for FY26. I did get Andover Street in there. I know a lot of the streets right around the common are pretty bad, and yeah. So that will, as soon as that funding, we kind of get that will get put in there, for sure.
The brick sidewalks, I think, really add to the problem.
Yes, yes.
They look
It's
great for a
really,
year.
they
Yeah.
look nice
Didn't
for
you
it.
say you were gonna try some?
I am.
Okay.
So my goal with that, and that was one of the things I was kind of struggling with, what to do with the crosswalks because of the pavers. The pavers look beautiful, I wholeheartedly agree. One of the things we struggle with is, the heaving, and then potential ADA issues, and then long-term maintenance, they've kind of come due, they're broken apart. I can't really find replacements that match. So I've actually investigated it was the stamping of the asphalt. They actually call it an inset now, so it's kind of the next level. And they told me they can match any design, any color. So I actually put that in the bid.
That's neat.
Yeah. So I'm pretty hopeful
That
that
might
this
solve
is.
a lot of problems
Yes.
to
Less
have the
chances for water
same
getting-
Yes,
look, but
so then
without
it's cohesive.
Yeah.
Long-term maintenance is almost nothing, because it is the asphalt surface, and they
Yeah.
come back a couple weeks later and do this inset. And like I said, they said they can match the design, the color, and everything, so I'm pretty hopeful that this will last
cool.
us
That
long-term.
sounds great.
Yes, I'm excited about it, so.
Because these were, I think, were done the same way, weren't they? That
So,
are out front?
exactly, and these, yep, out front here, because you can see when the gas company
Out
came
front.
through, now there is no brick, or brick-like. Yes, so it's actually an improvement of what was done out here, meaning for the looks, is what I've been told. I have seen some examples from other communities, so again, I'm pretty hopeful, because there's a little more intricate design on those crosswalks down by the common than what we have out front here, but, yeah.
It's a nice touch, though.
That's great.
It is.
For
I
an old town,
wholeheartedly agree. Yeah,
it's a
yeah,
nice touch.
Yep, absolutely.
Yes, great.
We definitely take suggestions. Don't hesitate to call.
Put it in the suggestion
I'll
box.
I'll just send it on the.
As I tell my as I
Report it.
tell the residents, I can't drive every road, so
That's right, I know.
obviously you guys are
I
out
tell
and
people that
about.
all the time.
Yeah.
You have to
Their
tell
own
us.
names.
You have to tell us, or we can't know where all the problems are.
I know, so I tell them, definitely call in, we keep a list, and especially if there are areas where there's this multiple potholes where we can try this new
That's cool.
internal paving, yeah, definitely
I
call.
never knew I could get so excited about
Well, pavers.
paving and sidewalks.
But it looks really nice when it's in.
It does.
Will you be able to do the milling over at the Parker Street in the middle school parking lot area?
Parker Street.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
on our
yeah, yeah,
pothole.
yeah.
I think we already did some patching. Unfortunately, we've got a list. We were able to rent the machine for 2 months.
2 months.
Oh.
And like I
Yeah.
said, we're trying to keep costs down by having our own crews
Yeah.
go out there.
Oh,
So,
that's great.
it is on, it would be a good candidate because it's to the school.
Okay.
So that is something
That's right.
yes,
You
it is on our
mentioned
list.
Yeah,
Yep,
It's awesome.
cool. It's very exciting.
it is.
Really is.
Where does the town rent that type of machine from?
So, CAT, actually, that makes the larger machines, they actually have a whole rental division now. It's actually in Plastow, New Hampshire. So, yeah, they rent attachments, skid steers, larger equipment. We actually, when we had the issue, we were short a loader one year for the winter time. We actually ended up renting a loader for that year, so.
It's a good opportunity because it allows our crews to get comfortable with the machinery. And if it's something where we're doing it very efficiently, we'll probably look at putting a long-term CIP. But it's, yeah,
I have in my head going, Merrimack, Merrimack, Merrimack.
Absolutely. So next we have the Route 125 Great Pond Road intersection redesign. This was a combination of ARPA funds and MassWorks grant. So this is in the engineering stage. Our consultant, Vanessa and Associates, submitted the 100% design documents to the DOT, and they're currently in front of Conservation Commission and submitted for the watershed special permit with the planning board. So hopefully, once we get all the permits in hand, including the DOTs, then we need to look at the estimate for the construction, because the MassWorks grant, I think, was for around like 1.2 million. So then we'll just have to base the construction costs over what we have and what the estimate is to see if there's supplemental that we'll have to try to make up for the construction phase.
This is the project we appealed for, to make sure it was in the budget, right? Did we not make a?
This is the
earmark?
Yes, in the earmark. So this was in the bond bill, the additional funds.
Oh,
and
okay.
that has
Is in
not
there?
been released yet.
Yeah.
Okay, we don't know yet,
It's a
okay.
bond
Yep.
bill, so.
It's in the bond bill. So
It's
what
a
happens
bond
is the
bill.
bond bill passes, and then they have to actually release the funds.
Release the funds.
Bond
Yeah.
bill is fake money.
Yeah. So we did do. You're correct. We did advocacy letters asking them to. When I last was at the State House, I reiterated the request.
So we could have really nice plans if the state doesn't come through.
But it's a shovel-ready project,
Yep.
which is a
Right.
good thing.
That's great.
And there is additional. I mean,
It's huge.
MassWorks just reopened. There's additional grant opportunities that have come
Yep.
up this year. So we'll continue to look and see. But a portion of this is in the capital bond bill.
Sidewalk reconstruction, so my engineering department is currently finishing up the design for the extension on Sutton Street from McAvoy Field to Chadwick, where we did the re-intersection there. We're hoping of using our internal contractor, FP Riley, to construct the new sidewalk, which is going to, we'll continue with what was done with the first phase of it, which was vertical granite curbing and then an asphalt sidewalk to kind of tie that section in.
That's great.
So does that get you all the way to 125 now?
Yes, yep, it'll get us, because you could go 125 by China Blossom
Yep.
and then come up something, get all the way down to Chadwick.
Get up the hill.
That's
Yep.
awesome.
Yeah,
That's really great.
so. Stevens Street culvert upgrade, so this is currently out to bid, so this is one, I'm sure if people wonder why that section of Stevens Street, right between Stevens Pond and Mill Pond, hasn't been done. This is why. It's actually, the culverts themselves are actually in pretty good shape. We are going to take this opportunity to line the culverts only because it's what's above that needs to be rebuilt. It was just placed granite that was put there, and over time it's kind of deteriorated. That's why the edge of the roads are kind of falling in there. So we're going to rebuild all the head wall and the whole subbase underneath the roadway, and then when we're done, new guardrail, and then repave that section. So like I said, that's currently, or it's going out to bid June 24th, and then bids are going to open, I think, July 9th is when they're scheduled to open, with anticipating starting construction in the August timeframe, hopefully. This is one where we're likely going to have to close that section of roadway down for the construction, which is probably going to lead into the start of school. So I know, but our goal is to have it kind of already started and closed down so people will know about that, before the school starts. I know they're not going to be happy, but.
Parkway Road residents will be perfectly happy with it.
You're probably right.
Yes.
Can't get any closer unless you live there.
So, but yes, so, and I think the construction is, they're hoping to have everything done. It should only take like 3 months. Whether the finished pavement, we'll have to decide on the weather at the time, because it may be close, pushing up to the end of October, beginning of November. So that may be something we want to just do binder and then come back in the springtime and do the finish. But we can see how construction goes on that piece. I just highlighted some of so we have a culvert and drainage infrastructure, CIP, that we kind of have revolving, and these are just some of the highlights of what I spent the current funding on. So over on Johnson Street, we had a 48-inch corrugated metal pipe, similar with the floods we had 2 years ago. We did have, there was some impact to that. We did the repair, and then like a year later, we started to have, it started settling again, didn't know what was going on. We then kind of looked at the whole culvert, and it was a really good candidate for the similar lining that we had done the previous year. So we did, we lined that whole corrugated metal pipe and then repaired the road surface. We also replaced some drain line at the end of Lyman, Mass Ave, which I think there were like 4 or 5 different types of pipes that had over the years been installed. So we just took that all out and did, all new pipe right across the end there. We had identified, this was through the TV inspection, so we did do some drainage repairs at Main Street and Davis. It was kind of interesting what was going on there, but we had our contractor come in, kind of reset a new catch basin, repipe things up, because there were some broken pipes and whatnot. So we had that repaired. And then when PJ Albert came through at the end of Waverly and Maine, right down here, there was some impacts to that existing drainage from over the years, so I just had our contractor come in and kind of replace that all before we did that finished paving last year. So that's it for roads and sidewalks.
Actually, there was one more sidewalk I should have mentioned. We received an earmark from the state, I think it was $50,000, to make accessibility improvements to one of the parks. We chose Drummond Park. It's something we weren't able to do when we revamped the park itself. So we're going to be adding curbing, additional sidewalk right in front of the entrance there along Milk Street, and then guardrail a little bit later on. We have until June 30th to finish the project. So it's going to start next week. It's going to be a pretty quick turnaround. Unfortunately, we are going to have to close the playground. So we'll be sending those notices out because our contractor start date is exactly the same as the summer fun with the recreation department, and it's just going to be very busy over there. So those notices should probably be going out tomorrow that we're going to have to close it. Not ideal, but it's free money from the state, so we don't want to turn it away.
It'll be quick.
It will. It'll be a quick turnaround, and the guardrail may be a little bit later, but we'll certainly get that project. We're excited about it. Something, we've wanted to do for a long time, so.
You're doing like a wooden post and rail guardrail?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. And again, we're stuck with the materials coming in. It's just one of these timing things, so. But we're excited about that because it's a focal point of the town, let's face it, so.
Especially the kids.
Absolutely.
And
So we're,
their moms who bring them.
yeah, well-used. It's a well-used park.
It's not going to mess with the sweating, is it?
Before we jump into water and sewer, I mean, I'm still struck by last year's presentation, right, of everything we've got going on and, all the catchable plan that you guys are doing everything you possibly can. How are you seeing pricing so far coming in compared to, I know there was a huge run-up. Are things continuing to escalate? Are they leveled off? Is it the new normal? What are you seeing?
Well, we haven't bid yet.
Okay,
So
all right.
next week, I'll have a better answer for
have
you
the numbers.
on that. I mean, I hate to say it, I've never really seen asphalt drop, and that's the biggest cost that we have. And I think I mentioned last year when I was here, I mean, when I started 34 years ago, it was $25 a ton. We're up around $80 a ton now. So the way the state bids is they do allow an escalation based, because it's a liquid asphalt product. And as you can imagine, any petroleum product is going to vary. Fortunately, the suppliers, they buy the liquid asphalt in advance, so they have a good idea. But on a multi-year project, the state allows an escalation clause if it goes beyond a certain amount. it's a pretty substantial amount. So I won't say that prices have come down, but I think that they've leveled off for the most part, at least on the major item. As I mentioned, material costs are expensive, labor costs are going up, everybody's costs are going up. So, but we haven't seen like major jumps like we did 3 or 4 years ago.
Okay. I'm just trying to think ahead, right, as we plan for this stuff, right? How do we not fall behind in the overall workload, right? For what it costs to pave 1,000 feet of road, where it was, so.
And
it's hard.
really, yeah, one of the things that we have to focus on as we move forward, I mean, I think we have, I probably presented a $50 million backlog.
It was 40.1. It was like etched in
Yeah,
my head.
today it's probably 50.
Now it's
Probably 50.
But again,
Yeah.
we benefited because of the gas, the restoration, that 11.5 miles. One of the things I think you'll see the focus shifting, which is very tough, and I probably mentioned this before, that a road that we've already paved, you know, as it starts to crack, you really need to maintain it. And that's where the trick is, where, you know, you're fixing a road that you've already, or you're maintaining, not fixing, a road that you've already paved, and then you have a number of roads that haven't been paved. So that's really the struggle. That's why we're looking at different ways that we can maintain it. There are a number of different treatments. We've been meeting with contractors, fog seals. There are different things other than pavement. Right now, I mean, there is no magic fix. You know, there's no paint you can put on a road. But it's a long term. It never ends. Even if we can magically fix every road today, it's going to continue to deteriorate.
Maintain day one. Yeah.
And then you have the gas company, you have the electric company, you have our water and sewer. There are breaks, so it's a continuous battle.
Where are the seashells when you need them? That's what they used to use in the olden days, is shells.
Yeah.
Is it mostly financial as you see it, or is it manpower, or is it both? Is it everything?
Oh, I think, I mean, as far as the cost itself?
Well, or just in terms of being able to do as much as you think you need to do to maintain a healthy program.
I think the manpower is there. It's not, I don't think we've seen, like, one of the things I'm happy I can report is that, you know, a few years ago, we couldn't get truck drivers. We've implemented a program where we're training laborers to get their CDL license, and lo and behold, we're not having any trouble any longer. The guys are moving up. It's really exciting. So I don't see the labor issues, at least on the asphalt, and mostly because it's very special. There is a lot of asphalt that needs to be done. So a lot of contractors out there. We're very hopeful for the bids next week that we get a number of bidders. So I guess, yeah, it's probably material cost, and, you know, it's just, it's an expensive product. There's a lot that goes into it. And it's funny, as we look at these projects, and, you know, we're fortunate because we get to see a project from start to finish, literally planning all the way through design. When we initially plan these things, we think it's going to cost a lot less than it. Once we get an engineer consultant come in and they start showing what's involved in all these things. I'm going to talk about water and sewer. It is very intricate. There are so many moving parts. Roads, for the most part, relatively simple. Gravel and asphalt and drainage.
Not water out there.
Drainage is
Drainage is key.
it's running 24/7. I mean, that's, so.
It doesn't rain around here at all.
No.
I have one more question. What about striping, like the crosswalks and stuff? Are they gonna?
Yes, line striping?
Yeah.
Yeah,
or,
yeah, yeah,
Or
yeah.
the crosswalk, like the crosswalks.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, for crosswalks and roadway. We actually, we have a program, we just haven't started to implement it, because believe it or not, they typically do the line striping at nighttime.
Oh, really?
Yes, so that way, you know, there's less traffic. But you have to do it when the temperatures are actually approaching like 50 and higher.
Okay.
So that's one of the reasons, you know, we haven't had the opportunity to start that. But it is starting to warm up now, more at nighttime. So we already have the contract in place with the line striper. So it's just a matter of us reaching out and then getting in their schedule to kind of do that, work it into the program.
Because that intersection at First and Maple, right? That probably
Yes.
needs some
Yeah,
stripping,
yeah,
right?
yes. Oh, First and Maple is actually, that's one, it's PJ Albert because it was part of their gas restoration. But you're absolutely right. That's why that and Waverly Road, all of
Yeah.
that needs to get done. As soon as they can get into the schedule, I told PJ Albert, I'm like, you got to get that
Yeah,
done.
yeah. Just the
yes.
traffic pattern, right?
Yeah,
Like-
just so people have some idea of where they're
Yeah.
supposed to be on that roadway.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. Excellent, thanks.
Yep. Great.
With that said, I'll get right into water and sewer. The first project I'll identify is over on Sutton and Marblehead, essentially where the two railroad crossings are. Underneath that is we have old cast iron water pipe, unlined cast iron. It's, if anything keeps me up at night, it's probably that, if those were to fail. Cast iron is very brittle, and so we're going to be lining that, about 300 feet in total. And I believe this was an ARPA project that was funded through ARPA. So it's something, it's the last of the unlined cast iron pipe. I forget what year, 1930s or 20s. So we have a lot of water main out there that's getting near 100 years old. But, you know, so this is the last bit of it. It's, we're just about, I think we just received the permit from Keolis.
Yep.
So.
It runs under the tracks?
Runs right under the tracks, so, yes, so.
Incoming, get off the track.
Yeah, fortunately, I mean, it's deep and it's, you know, the old cast iron is probably not like new cast iron. Most of it, if it was done today, we would have done ductile iron, but we couldn't, I mean, we literally can't cut out underneath the railroad. So, but we're excited because ARPA is giving us that chance to get this project done. So that's, contractor we've already had the pre-construction conference. It's not a long project, it's just getting all the permits. There will be some night work involved, just because of the traffic in that area.
Any MBTA disruption or no?
No, there will not. Essentially, they dig a hole on each side and they feed it through.
Arthroscopic?
Yeah, and they do it that way. The other, another project we have are the water booster pump stations. We've gone through and we've been doing an analysis, just the condition survey of all of our infrastructure. Booster stations, which provide additional pressure in the high hill areas. In the first one that we're going to be looking at is, I believe it's over at the Sutton Hill Booster Station. Essentially, it includes replacement of the pumps, electrical upgrades, communication upgrades, and the station itself is, I think it was built in the early 2000s. So a lot of these pump stations that are hitting on 20, 30 years, it's, you know, they're starting, larger maintenance issues are starting to come due. So we're going to be moving forward that major upgrade. And again, it's probably multiple fiscal years, because that's the way these projects go. The other thing, you've heard me talk a lot about the water treatment plant improvements. Essentially, the plant was built in 1991, so I think over the next 20 years, you're going to see major overhauls. Right now, in this fiscal year, the funding for replacement of what's called the caustic storage tanks, essentially these giant tanks where they put the chemicals in that help out the pH within the treatment process. It's kind of an interesting project, again, intricate. These two tanks, essentially they put the tanks in and then built the building around them. So now we have to deconstruct them. We've been lining them we've been maintaining them. Their useful life is over with. So we're gonna replace them with 3 smaller tanks. And so that's, you know, we're excited to get that project going. We're also gonna be replacing the screens. Essentially, that's the first step of treatment. It takes out any sticks and before it gets into the plant as we're pulling the water in. Again, long-term, they've been maintaining these now, and the useful life is over with. And then facilities is going to be doing the lower lift station roof, which is essentially the first pump that pulls the raw water into the plant. So the roof needs to be done over these pumps. Over the next several years, you're going to see us coming before you for major improvements to the main pumps, the finished water pumps. It's a very intricate system. So unfortunately, fortunately we have it. We have a great water source, but it does take a lot to maintain these water treatment plants. As far as we have the demolition of the 400 Great Pond Road, it's funded for next year, but we've already started. Facilities has already applied for the demolition permit. That actually starts the clock ticking for if there are any historical issues with it. But there are a number of other permits that we're going to have to get, similar to the boat launch that's being done. So permits could take up to a year to get, and then we'll start taking the house down. For sewer, the same thing, pump station improvements. We've got one that we've been working on, the Willow Street Pump Station. Essentially, we're going to be relaying some sections of pipe. We're going to be removing a pump station, which is a good thing, and we're going to be doing some upgrades. So that's probably the main sewer project we're doing. As well as that, John's just finishing up sewer improvements on 125 to the police station. We've tied them into the town system that was laid as part of the 125 grant that we put in sewer to the Amazon. So the police are benefiting from that. Also getting some drainage improvements done as part of that. And then the other sewer project is the Ray Street sewer extension. And that's essentially dry water sewer mains that were put in when the subdivision, South Cross, North Cross, were put in. And essentially, we're going to finally relay and connect them into the new pump station. So that's 14 or 15 houses that'll no longer be on septic. So that's the water and sewer from, again, fiscal year '25. There's a lot of construction that's going to happen throughout the town. It's, some of it's clustered, like the Sutton Street and the Main Street. I think from a timing perspective, again, we'd love to have more than 2 months to do this, July and August. We usually start after July 4th. Unfortunately, the scope of these projects are going to extend into the school year. There's just really no way around that. I think the biggest impact you'll see is probably the Main Street project, because it does involve a lot of drainage, curbing, and whatnot. But again, we're excited we're able to get it done. So those are the major infrastructure projects from fiscal year '25. We'll have a whole list coming after July as well, so, of what we planned.
Any other questions for John?
It sounds very busy.
It does.
Great.
I appreciate this, though, because it's nice for us to be able to, when people ask us, right? It's great
Absolutely.
to have the list in front of us
Yeah.
to, talk about, so
Really
we
appreciate
appreciate it.
And we know you got your hands full and in your busy season, so
Thank you.
thank you both.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay, item C, we have a request from DPW to surplus equipment. Are you guys sticking around for this one, or is this Melissa?
No, it's a pretty easy one, yeah. I mean, they're welcome to stick around. They've got a list of some old stuff that they'd like to get rid of. We usually, depending on the condition of it, which appears to all be working-ish, it will be auctioned. Anything that's deemed to be worthless will be thrown away. And they do mention a trade in here, but typically depending on the value, we may have to do the auction.
Is it stuff that needs to be replaced or just stuff that you had?
Some of it needs to be replaced. Some of it has been sitting around. We try and reuse as much as we possibly can, but sometimes it just is past its useful life. And a lot of times, like with plows and things like that, the newer equipment, you can't attach it to.
Right.
So, whereas, it's been sitting there for 3, 4, 5 years, thinking, well, maybe someday we could find a use for it. But most of the stuff is, all of it, I should say, is well past its useful life.
Some of it's from the 80s.
Yes.
So,
Compressor from 1984.
Yeah.
Yes.
You got your money's worth.
Yeah, I was just wondering if you guys needed new stuff to replace it.
Okay, if there's no other questions on this, I'll take a motion.
I'll move that the board surplus the DPW vehicles and equipment listed in the memo dated June 11th, 2025.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion or questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks again.
Thank you.
Okay, next, planning board fee schedule. This is an update to their fee schedule with regards to the MBTA communities.
So as
Legislation
you
with-
know, the select board is in charge of setting all of these fees. Obviously, because this is a new thing we didn't have in the past, now we do. We do need to go ahead and create an application fee, and so they have come forward with a recommendation that is attached, which is basically the general fee of $3,500 for a commercial development application, plus $25 per square foot, 25 cents per square foot. And then for residential, it is $9,300 for a general fee, and then $50 per unit if there's more than 200 units.
And this is in line with their other fee schedule,
Yes.
correct?
Yep, and then they kind of show you, very helpfully, how you calculate the different fees.
Okay. If there's no questions for the town manager, I will take a motion.
Move that the select board approve the fee schedule for the MBTA multifamily housing overlay district project development applications as presented.
A second.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion or questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, item E, request from the Poet Laureate Committee to use the town common on July 11th, 2026, from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. for an Bradstreet Day of Gratitude.
Is this the same thing as the poet?
No,
It's
they're
It's not the
different.
contest.
Oh, they just did that. Oh.
Yeah, in May, they did that, so.
This is a different event, right?
And it's-
When the new stage will be done by then, probably, maybe.
By July 11th? I think so.
I don't know.
I don't know.
That's a lot of
It'll be
time
close.
here.
I don't know.
Close if not,
Yeah.
yeah. I know we're trying to get
Might
it done
not
for the
For the
children's programming and the concerts, so.
Yeah, yeah, that'd be
So,
great.
what are they? They're just gonna honor Ann Bradstreet.
It's
They
in,
and have presentation. I spoke to Karen Klein the last couple of days, and she's getting ready. A year out, but she's getting ready. So.
It's 2026.
oh,
It's
Oh,
26.
there's,
26.
no, the stage. will
Stage
be-
is
Stage should be ready and well toured.
If it's not ready, we're in trouble.
Oh, it's a year from now. So just presentations and stories about her?
Yes,
I
about
will
her,
say-
her great life and her. Of all people to talk about this, her house burned down.
Oh, really?
Yeah, way back when.
The last time I spoke with Karen Klein, she said Ann Bradstreet deserves her own day, so she has clearly
Yeah.
followed through with that.
No, we had a nice conversation today, so. Yeah, they're very excited, and somebody, I believe somebody wrote like a poem to
Oh,
Ann
really?
Bradstreet, and Karen was really excited about it, so. She did, I mean, when you think about it, Ann Bradstreet does deserve special honor. She's the first woman, first published woman.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't sound good when you say it like that, but you know what I mean.
Have we ever approved use of the common a year?
more than a year in advance?
We love this. This is our favorite thing.
Okay.
Because now it goes on the calendar.
Yeah, because it puts it on the calendar, we won't run into any.
It probably won't be fireworks.
Right, it won't run any hiccups with any other events that any other committee, commission wants to put
Wants
forward.
to do,
Okay.
that's,
I-
very interesting.
It's
I've read
exciting.
2026, but didn't process
No, I didn't either
2026,
at all.
yeah.
I was like,
Well,
It's once we get in the
I
fiscal
asked
year, it
the
gets very
question,
confusing.
so I knew what the,
Yeah.
that it is.
I mean, heck, a
year
month
from
out,
now.
we're happy with, right?
Yes.
Okay. If there's no other questions, I'll take a motion.
I'll move that the board approve the request of the Poet Laureate Committee to use the town common on July 11th, 2026, from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. for an Ann Bradstreet Day of Gratitude.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, next we have, let's see, we just did, no, we did G. We did not do F yet. Request the North Andover Athletic Association to use Osgood Street, Stevens Street, Great Pond Road, Pleasant Street, and Hartway Road for the Knights on the Run Road Race, October 18th, 2025, from 8 a.m. to 11:30 a.m.
This is great. They're usually coming in October 17th, so.
And what happens if the culvert's not done?
They gotta jump.
This is becomes a steeplechase? Correct me if I'm wrong, but that's on that path, right?
It is on that path.
Yeah.
Well, let's approve it, and then I will,
Contingent on-
yeah, I'll go back. We can always, if we have to reroute it, we'll reroute it. But
Okay. Okay. Well, that pending, I'll take a motion.
I move that the select board approve the request of the North Andover Athletic Association to use Osgood Street, Stevens Street, Great Pond Road, Pleasant Street, and Harkaway Road for the Knights on the Run road race on October 18th, 2025, from 8 a.m. to 11:30 a.m.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion or questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, we did item G. Next, we have item H, requesting the police department to surplus a 2016 Dodge Charger and sell at auction.
yeah, so as you know, what we've been doing over the last couple of years is selling these vehicles, and then the money we get from them goes into a vehicle account, and that we use a lot of the time for like down payments or, so it's working out pretty well. And this is the latest. These usually sell pretty quickly. Right now, we have a boat listed. I think ended up going for like $1,400 and was really old. So it is interesting what people buy. Yeah.
Sorry, that's all we got for our Pathfinder.
That one's more like,
You should
What do they
probably
go
put them
to?
on
You could
this
try a
bidding
boat.
website.
I should have brought it to
You should have brought it to auction. You would have done better. Yeah.
Imagine a high schooler trying to pick up a police car for their first car.
It's pretty hilarious. But people come from even out of state to come and get them.
Yeah,
So,
municipality.
really interesting.
mhm, yeah. Yeah,
Well,
and
good for
in
them.
regular people, they really, yeah, so.
All right.
I just cashed the check from CarMax.
That's funny. Okay,
It
with
was
that,
really sad.
I'll take a motion.
I move that the board approve the request of police department to surplus 2016 Dodge Charger and sell at auction.
I'll second.
Motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Next, request from the Affordable Housing Trust to disperse $500,000 from the trust to the CAF for the purchase of 1416-18 Brown Court. I think there's a letter from Select Board Member Emeritus, Mr. Valancourt, for this project, which I think we've been briefed on before, if I'm not mistaken. It seemed familiar to me.
It's kind of been a long time
With
coming.
CPC,
And
right?
it's
Yeah.
just finally moving forward. We were working with another organization that merged with a new organization, so it's taken a little bit of time for them to get on board, and I think they have a very solid plan now to move forward. And I know they're hoping to go to zoning in August, so.
Awesome. Okay, these were CPC funds, correct? Then we just have to authorize the disbursement, right?
Well, it probably originally was CPC funds, that's now Affordable Housing Trust funds,
well,
and
right,
the
right,
Affordable
right.
Housing Trust funds are now being spent.
Correct, there's probably multiple years of CPC funds.
Yeah.
Yes, 'cause that's our only source of funding. Yes, okay. If that, I'll take a motion.
I move that the board approve the request from the Affordable Housing Trust to disperse $500,000 from the trust to CAF for the purchase of 1416 and 18 Brown Court.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion or questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, next up, item J, we have a request of the police department to use the town common on June 21st, 2025, from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. for a memorial for Officer Scarlett. Any discussions about this?
I'll move approval.
I'll second that.
A motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
And lastly, item K, we have the vote to approve the collective bargaining agreement between the town and firefighters AFL-CIO Local 2035.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. We're very happy to be bringing this forward. We have settled with the fire union. They have already voted to ratify. This is going to be a 4-year contract rather than a 3-year contract. But we're very happy and we're very thankful to their e-board, especially their president, Cody McAllister, for continuing to work with us over the last year.
Excellent. And I know on behalf of the board, I'll express my thanks to you and your team for everything you guys did to get us to this point. We know it was a long process, and we are grateful to be here.
Thank you.
So, with that, I will take a motion.
I'll move that the board approve the collective bargaining agreement between the town of North Andover and firefighters AFL-CIO Local 2035 for the period of July 1st, 2025 through June 30th, 2029.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion or comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, consent items. We get several on here. I will take a motion.
I'll move approval of all consent items.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Next up, approval of our open session minutes of June 2nd, 2025. Has everyone had a chance to review these? I have one typo. It's in the very,
Wow.
where is it?
We
It's
haven't
actually
had a
in,
typo in a while.
it's in the town manager's report. That it's the bike rodeo, not bike road, but that's it. That's the only thing I caught, and there was a lot in there, so thank you very much for everyone for getting to that point. And I'll take a motion.
Oh, move
Anyone-
approval?
Anyone's ready.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. Any further questions, comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, select board updates.
Well, I hope everybody had a great Father's Day.
Finally didn't rain.
I want to say a huge thank you to all of the people that helped the first farmers market week go really, really well. So everybody was excited. The weather was great, and people were really happy to be. A lot of people commented on how it's a great space if you have children because they're not going to run out into Main Street. You have a chance to catch them. So it was definitely, I mean, there'll be bumps in the road, but it went really well, and we're excited. And we had a lot of volunteers come. We had a lot of high school kids come. We had a lot of town employees come. It was great. So thank you all, and to Melissa and team for all of the little things that had to be dealt with before we could even get to that point. So we appreciate it.
That's great, so it was a success.
It was I saw your husband.
I agree that it's a safer spot than before.
Where did people end up parking?
All over.
All over?
We might have to do a little more, control of that, but no, it was good. I think the parking lot filled up really quickly behind town hall, but there's high turnover, so
Good point. You're not
if
there all
you're,
day.
people are there for 20 or 30 minutes, and if you drive through the parking lot, you can circle back around out to Main Street, it seemed to work out fine. Only a couple of complaints about that, and part of that was probably just people not knowing the flow of the traffic.
People get used
I
to
mean,
it.
we didn't really know the flow, and so we knew what we thought we wanted to have happen, but,
Adapt and you learn, right? Well, I had an opportunity to attend the closing ceremony for the Field of Honor on Saturday in the rain, but they had a tent, which was good. They did a wonderful job, and they also had a flag memorial for firefighter Shane's as well. So it was good, and the fire department was there to accept that on behalf of the department. So it was great. It was a very nice little day despite the weather.
Then I want to come back and talk about,
Yeah, but
well,
you would
Melissa
be
probably
shocked
will.
if it was nice out, wouldn't you?
On Saturday, why would
Club
start?
90.
Why start now?
I also had the opportunity to attend Club 90 at the Senior Center, which was amazing, and both Dee and Melissa's helpers were there too. And they do such a really nice job celebrating those who turned 90 over the course of the year. So it's just a delightful, happy event.
Happy birthday to them all.
Yep.
My 12-year-old daughter was like, I want to know what they use in their skin because they all look so good.
They definitely do.
She made me
Probably
laugh.
came from CVS, which could
I
be a
said,
good
yeah,
thing.
not
We were
Zima.
dancing around. I'm like, I
Yeah.
hope maybe we all be so lucky when we, It's great.
Any other updates? Anyone else has?
8th grade had some really nice weather this week for their what promotion is they don't call it
Promotion, move-up
graduation.
day.
Don't
move-up
call it
day.
graduation.
That was really fun, and a field day, and I had a great day on the cruise, with the cruise in Boston, which was super jealous
Really?
of.
How
And yeah,
fun
they,
is
they had also some
that?
fun activities. So.
Yeah.
We have new high schoolers.
Yeah, I know. I can't believe that.
Just in time.
Bound to
That was
happen.
fun. They had at least they got some fortune. I guess you never play anything on a Saturday in North Andover.
I am more. Okay. Thank you, everybody. Town manager's report.
Yeah, so the one big thing I have is an update on the wreath program. So as you know, we've been working with Selectwoman Smedili, who's been a one-woman holiday decoration show.
Machine.
Over
Over 30 years.
Machine at it.
So we're trying to work to just assist a little bit. We dipped our toe in this year, but next year, she's gonna let us help her even more, so we're gonna go to an online application. A letter is going to every single person that's ever bought a wreath, to let them know about that. If you're not a person who's online, you will be able to call us and we will help you fill it out. You'll be able to pay by credit card or by check, so there really won't be any change there. The process will continue in the background as it is before, which will be that, they're first come, first serve, and when we run out of spots, we run out of spots, but we're
Well, I
here to
took
help.
every spot humanly possible.
Yes, we did. We'll be here to help getting us through all of that. So the letter will be going out, and that's why we wanted to let people know. They'll be if you've ever bought a wreath, you're going to get a letter. It's going to tell you about our new process with our online form and how to pay. And we're looking forward to having this be a big success this year. So,
When will it open up? Like,
Fall.
Fall.
We want to give people plenty of notice that we're coming. Yeah.
October 1st.
Yeah. So
Is usually what we do.
perfect. So yeah, so we're excited, but it will be a little change. So we want to make sure people know that we're going to be having that little change. So.
We like it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for your years of hard work on that, and we know you're still doing it.
Yep.
We know
She
you're
doesn't get
still doing
Hey, I guess you'll still be around. You'll still be doing it. All right, our next meeting date is Monday, June 30th, 2025. We're right back here in 2 weeks, and we'll have to start our summer, so.
I might be online.
Might be long. Okay, well, fingers crossed, right?
Yeah, I hope so.
We have another baby coming, not me, of course, but my son and his beautiful wife, they're having their second child.
Best of luck
Yeah.
with regards to that,
It's
so.
very exciting.
Okay, with that, I'll take a motion.
Motion to adjourn?
Second?
Second.
Motion and a second, all those in favor?
Aye.
We are adjourned. Thank you very much.